All right, everyone, we're back. Kult of Athena blade reviews. Today we have the Hanwei Scottish Claymore. This one has been sharpened. This one is a beauty, and it's a huge blade. You'll see I'm about 6 feet tall, and this one is right at my solar plexus. So we're definitely looking at a two-handed sword here. Notice that we have a full black leather grip, plenty of room on the handle, and it's got a lot of range to it. If you see from the side view, you got a lot of cutting power, a lot of power on thrusting and slashing. So we're going to look at some specs, how big this thing actually is, steel quality, all that, like we usually do in a review. And then we're going to do some cut testing as well. Blade length of 41 inches, all the way from the very beginning of the guard to the very end of the tip right here. Double-edged blade. It's not sharp right by the guard. Traditionally, you'll see some of these where they're held right here, or if you look at the William Wallace one, it's even wrapped with suede or like a piece of leather right here. That way, if you need the leverage for shorter manipulations, you have that available. I would highly recommend not grabbing it if this is sharp right here, specifically only when this is dulled out. So we have the 41-inch blade, like I just said, double edge, overall length, a hair over 55 inches. So again, you'll see right above my solar plexus, very, very big blade here, very big sweeping cuts, a lot of range on this, especially if you had to clear an area, fighting multiple opponents, all your thrusting is available to you. Definitely a long-range weapon and a close quarter weapon as well. Let's do some close-ups on this, take a look at what we're dealing with here. This is hard to even hold in place.
It's a door stopper.
So we have a weight of 5 pounds, 3 ounces. So this is definitely not a single-handed sword. I mean, you can tell just alone from the grip that it's to be used with 2 hands, but as soon as you pick it up, yeah, definitely you're going to need 2 hands for the leverage on the cuts and the leverage on the thrusting. The pommel, as we can see on the very end of it, a decorated round pommel, and it is peened. You can see the marks on the end of it. Full length grip of 10.5 inches. So we'll notice, got plenty of room here. You actually have room for 3 hands if you really wanted to. But you'll see if you wanted to grab onto the pommel for more circular motions, if you want it to be more here, where you're just on the grip. It sounds tacky, but you'll see there's nothing really coming off of my hands. Some leather, when your hands get sweaty, if it's not treated properly, you'll get like black, some of the black coating on your hands. Not the case with this one. It's finely stitched all the way down. And we'll notice the decorated handguard. We have these little knobs on each end. And that way, if a blade was to slide down, you'll see how long and wide the handguard is right here, how far it comes out. That way, if a blade or a spear was to glance off, you're not getting your hand hit. If there was no handguard here, there'd be nothing stopping a blade from riding down and cutting your hand. So good thing we have a handguard to protect your hand. The point of balance, so being extremely careful on this razor sharp blade. It's not razor sharp, it's sharp enough, functionally sharp. That's how we do our sharpening services. 5 3/8 from the guard, 5 3/8 inches. See, this is like double jeopardy. This is suspense. All right, so there you go. About 5 3/8 inches. I don't have a tape measure on me, but this is where you get the balance point, just about. And this thing's heavy, man. It's got a lot of power behind it. I mean, even alone, seeing a diagonal, whether you're on the pommel, whether you're on the full leather grip, see, that's a lot of range on that. Or if you're on the horizontal, boom, it's a lot of range. Or if you're on the vertical, that's a lot of range on that. Now what we're gonna do a few more close-ups on this so you can see exactly what this blade looks like. If you are interested in purchasing this blade, click the link in the description below. I made it super easy for you guys. So you can go right to the link on cultofathena.com to purchase this. In the meantime, we're gonna do the cut testing and we're gonna come back and see how it did. Let's do it. Wow. So there you go, right in half. It's just a tatami mat, but a little bit of blemish on it. Can you see it? Yep. Yeah, so that's just from these being wet. There's a link in the description below. Go ahead and click that if you want to do your own cut testing as well. So you'll see that was one shot, man. Just a diagonal number one. Whoo, right through the target. The horizontal was a little bit more tricky, but still got a really good cut on it. That's the thing you gotta be careful with a double-edged sword, is when you're following all the way through. I'm used to having single edge when we come back to chamber. You obviously can't do that because you have to stop the energy of the weapon and you have a back edge coming back at you. So you gotta be very careful with that type of blade. We give it another cut and split this thing in half.
Here it is.
Last cut was a little bit messy, but it's kind of hacking through it right now. These are pretty soaked. Tatami mats, you should be soaking them overnight. That way they get all the way through, so it doesn't fray as much. But let's get some close-ups of the blade after the cut testing. So we'll see it's just dirty, did nothing to the edge. Edge is still perfectly fine. And again, keep in mind that this is an added sharpening service, so these come really like slightly sharpened from Hanwei, the Hanwei Scottish Claymore, which is what this blade is. And just know that you'll have to add a sharpening service, contact customer service, or add a sharpening service in the add to cart section. That way you can get that if you're looking to do cut testing with it. Okay, so there you have it, the Hanwei Scottish Claymore. We did some cut testing with it, got some specs in on it, what it looks like up close and personal. So if you're looking to purchase this blade, this super long Scottish Claymore blade right here, made it super easy for you. Go ahead and click the link in the description box below, and that'll take you directly to cultofathena.com, directly to this blade. Again, reminding you to add a sharpening service if you want to, just being extremely careful in cut testing. And in the link below, you'll see the link for the tatami mats as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video. Talk to you soon.